Have you ever taken a sip of your freshly made homebrew, only to be met with a strange aroma, perhaps something like green apples or even freshly cut pumpkin? To prevent acetaldehyde in your homebrew, the most crucial step is to ensure a complete and healthy fermentation, allowing your yeast ample time to finish their work. Acetaldehyde is a compound naturally produced by yeast during fermentation. It is an intermediary step in their process of converting sugars into alcohol and carbon dioxide. While a small amount is always present, higher levels result in that distinct green apple or raw pumpkin flavor and aroma. When yeast does not fully complete fermentation, or when the beer is exposed to oxygen too early, the yeast cannot properly metabolize or clean up this acetaldehyde, leaving it in your finished beer. To avoid this common off flavor, focus on a few key practices. First, always use a healthy and sufficient amount of yeast for your batch size. Pitching too little yeast can lead to a sluggish or incomplete fermentation. Second, maintain a consistent fermentation temperature within the recommended range for your specific yeast strain. Wild temperature swings can stress your yeast, causing them to produce more byproducts like acetaldehyde and then not clean them up effectively. Third, avoid transferring your beer off the yeast cake too early, especially before fermentation is truly complete. Giving your beer enough time in the primary fermenter allows the yeast to reabsorb and convert these intermediary compounds. A useful technique some brewers employ is a diacetyl rest, which also helps yeast clean up acetaldehyde and other fermentation byproducts. This involves raising the fermentation temperature by a few degrees near the end of fermentation. Additionally, be very careful to minimize oxygen exposure after active fermentation has completed, especially when transferring the beer to bottles or a keg. Introducing oxygen at this stage can cause the yeast to reintroduce acetaldehyde as they struggle to process the oxygen. By supporting your yeast with a proper environment, sufficient nutrients, and adequate time, you empower them to fully transform the wort into delicious beer. Preventing acetaldehyde means a cleaner, crisper brew for you to enjoy, free from those unwanted green apple notes. It is a simple but vital step for a better homebrewing experience.